and Chelsea Delaney in Frankfurt. Good morning and hello to both of you. And I would like to start with you, Sue, because so China seems unstoppable, but how sustainable is its economic rebound?
Well, Monica, let's look at the two numbers. The imports rose 38.1%, much higher than expectations. It shows China's domestic demand is solid after recovery, with its people working as normal as before. But the consumption is not at a high enough level to drive growth. And if we look at the export number, the rebound of overseas demand for Chinese goods continued, yes, but the current strength of export growth is unsustainable when we see the resurgent coronavirus infections abroad and constraints in global trade. Overall speaking, there are many positive factors, but external challenges have not diminished. So China's foreign trade still has a long way to go to ensure steady growth.
All right, I mean, it's interesting what you're saying that, I mean, imports are higher than exports. Chelsea, who is selling to China?
Well, really everyone is selling to China right now. One of the big increases in imports that we've seen in China is from semiconductors, because there is so much demand for consumer electronics right now. So Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, the big semiconductor makers have been selling a lot to China. But we've also seen a huge increase in exports from the U.S. to China. They were up about 70% in March. That's in part because China has to export more to, or China has to import more from the U.S. as part of its trade deal with the previous Trump administration. But also Europe is benefiting enormously from this. We've already heard this from a lot of European companies, especially the big automakers here in Germany, that China is the major market right now where growth is really strong.
All right. And of course, I mean, with China continuing to grow, a recent survey shows that China's GDP growth rate is expected to average 8.5% this year. That's definitely exceeding the 6+% target. Is that possible at all?
Well, Monica, everything is possible. Now we see the manufacturing sector further strengthens momentum of domestic demand-led growth we talked about. But there are still risks like corporate debt issues and sluggish progress in vaccination. Also, the confrontation with the U.S. is also a risk factor if the situation intensifies. But we all have to note that the biggest risk is another wave of the coronavirus pandemic, which will lead to disruptions in production and hit consumption.
All right, Sue,